Hello. Hey. I mean, hello. So, yes, I am working on a project. Let me show you. This is called Palm Tree Dreaming. This is another Suno project, another smooth jazz project with the Midnight Regatta Project. No pun intended, something like that. But anyway, this is another script, another lyric sheet that I wrote myself without the help of ChatGPT. I even haven't used ChatGPT to even help me with rhymes for like the last 10 songs. So I'm totally creating this in my mind and obviously not singing. But anyway, so what I did is I found a version which is I call 421. You see, each one of these in Suno has a different time signature. Well, these are all remastered of 346, but if I'm going to remaster anything now, my favorite one is this one here. So I'm going to give it a thumbs up so I can easily find it. But I created stems here, and so I had vocals and instruments separated, and then I leveled all these volumes off, first thing, and then I fixed a little glitch. In my mind. You can still hear a little glitch there. In my mind. Right there. It's much, much less than it was. I could go back and actually like take more of the. Yeah, it still is. Now that's bothering me. So let's see how many times I have to undo to. Oh no, there it is. Okay. So here, let me show you the way it sounds. In my mind. See, it's I think even worse there. So the way to do these, there's a couple of ways of healing these, and it's too bad the AI can't do that. I think eventually it'll hear its own mistake. I think that's going to be the next big leap in AI art creation, whether it be images, when it does weird things in images. It's gotten much better than it used to be. Of course, one of the worst things that AI used to do is have too many fingers in a hand or weird things with hands, digits like that. You know, it was almost always creating. Now it's almost always perfect. They finally got that, right. But sometimes I'll have, anyway, don't need it. Long story short, here's an example. That is, you would think, considering the intelligence of AI, it would, if it created a problem like that while it was doing its, creation, it would hear it. It's simple. It's very simple. Everything else is so. Listen to the breath. Even they take a breath. I mean, the subtleties are so good, and the errors are so blatantly bad, and it's intelligent. We're talking about an intelligence, so it should hear that, detect that, before I would ever see it or hear it myself. And it would fix it, like if it actually created a problem, which I guess it wouldn't if it were closer to the perfection, closer to how perfect it already is with the subtleties of. Come on, that's incredible. And it'll take breaths and even popping of P's like it's speaking into a microphone. Like there's so many perfect things. Why would it do something so wrong? And that is still where AI runs into like a roadblock. Now, what I'm going to do is you'll see this is fairly level here, this levels, and it starts to go down here. And what I did is I cleaned up here to here, but we still have a dip here and a dip here. So what we're trying to do is, if we're really trying to level off, be right about like that. Now oh shit, we need to cover both. Now that's what I need to do. more would I need to do? So let's see, that'll be about 0.081, and that comes into play a little later. What's happening, I'll tell you now. These are the lyrics, just the vocals, and then the instruments have to line up exactly all the way through the song, and there's beats. Now, if you start editing, taking something out or adding or taking away on the timeline going to the right, forward, you have to make up for it. So I'm going to take 0.081 of space right in here and double it. And then that will bring our timeline back into the correct whatever. But first we have to see if this will work, and it should. I'm going to give it 75 to 80% because I've been doing pretty well with these, but I shouldn't get ahead of myself. So what I'm doing is trying to match. You see there's a pattern. It looks like there's like a mountain down here and a mountain up here. So we're going to go to the beginnings of the mountains. We have to call something the baseline, as it were. And you try to get as close to the line as possible. And I can smooth out an anomaly there a little later. Now what we're going to do is go over here. I have to remember we're at the beginning of a tall mountain. So should be able to go like right here. Now we zoom in and we find the edit point. So that's very close to the line. That's really good. I wish the other one were like that. Now I delete. Oh, hold on. Bring it back. I need to see it's 0.070. Good. Now I could try to, it looks like it's fairly smooth. It's not like a jagged, like if it goes, then you might have more problems. Okay, let's see how it sounds. In my mind, in my mind, in my mind. No. And usually, a lot of times those will work. There might be something I did wrong. Oh. I don't want to take so much away either. I mean, if we took away less, let's go bottom to bottom. I think I already did that. Probably, I don't know if you hear that train in the distance. I have to say, when I first moved to the house in Garland, it seemed like the train was that far away. You could barely hear it, and it was nice, train in the distance. And as I was living there for the 4 or 5 years I was there, it got louder and louder, which is wild. I didn't get closer to it, obviously. All right, and the track didn't move, but I think the train, the horns got louder. All right, I'm going to delete that. We're going to look at it. It looks pretty smooth, so any anomaly will be in there. I'm actually taking less out, so it probably will glitch. The thing is, will it be an acceptable amount of glitch? In my mind. That worked. Now, I don't remember what the number was, so I have to undo that. It'll be okay. Oh, 0.030. Nice. Click delete. Go here. I'm going to live with that, even though there might still be an anomaly. Now, all I have to do is do 30. 0.030. It's almost nothing. You could almost leave it, and it might be okay. But I'm going to copy that and then paste that in. Now I've made up, technically, this will be a little slightly off, but so little, and for such a short amount of time, it'll just humanize it or whatever. Now I listen through, and I'll just listen for all the anomalies and things I need to fix. And there was like a hard C, like a k, that I want to take down. In my mind. That's amazing. It's a beautiful day. Mine. It's a beautiful day. In my mind. I mean, dudes, can you see what I'm talking about? The AI, that's a robot. That is not a real. It created that from an algorithm. So if it's glitching, whether it be when I created the stems, which it might be, or in the original, then it should be able to go, oh, to itself, I created a glitch. Oh my gosh. Let me heal that and just it'll either redo this whole thing, or it'll it'll go, it's like it'll in its zeros and ones robotic way go like not okay, we need it to go so they'll just it'll sort of go, what came before it, what comes after it, we need to match it up, and then as though there's no glitch, I'm going to paste that in there now. Yeah, that sounds good. All in almost zero time, in milliseconds under the surface where under the hood where I wouldn't see it.
In my mind, the Caribbean is
Okay, there's a little kind of like a little glitch. It's very small. I think it's here. What I'm gonna try is just, I have this preset where I take down all the lows, all the bass, all the pop. That's to take out pops, but it sometimes works for things like where it's like a little like a bassy.
in my mind. The Caribbean is.
There's still an anomaly there, but it's less. Yeah.
The Caribbean is gleaming.
Gleaming?
Is gleaming.
That's fine. There's the G is a little harsh. And if I were doing a voiceover, we want to have that G there. That's the G. That's the G. What we can do is take it down. So like take 30% out of it.
The Caribbean is gleaming. Is gleaming.
A little better. And then the Caribbean, that's the C. The harsh C. I'll do the same thing. Just take it down.
The Caribbean. The Caribbean.
Let's see what happens if I take it down another 30.
The Caribbean is gleaming in my mind.
So beautiful.
And palm tree dreaming.
There's an example of what I'm going to take out a little bit of the popping of the plosives as though it did that. Yeah. That should work.
And palm tree
Better.
dreaming. I'm palm tree dreaming. Palm tree dreaming. Palm tree dreaming. I'm loving the day the seagulls are crying.
I'm going to bring the volume of this slightly up. Not much. Just 110. I'm going to make the window sound, guys. I know maybe some people don't like it, but I like to have a habit. I like to do this. Welcome. All right, let's go on.
Crying happy tears while they entrench me flying.
I'm going to bring that up a little bit. Just think, I don't know how it'll be with the music. I might. What I do is once I do this, then I put the instruments back on and I have a list. I make a list of where it needs to be. The vocals need to be a little higher or a little lower. And I go through the whole song, up, down, up, down, up, down. If I hear a glitch, I'll say glitch, and I'll put the time, the time stamp on all these changes. And then I go through and take out the instruments again, and then make all the changes. Put the instruments back, and it usually works.
The sand and the sea.
That needs to be louder. That whole thing will probably need to be louder.
Crying eagles are crying. The sand and the sea. they beckon.
And it's interesting, they even made him go a little off tune like a real human would do. That's amazing. They obviously trained, and when they now have a deal with Warner, by the way, so they're doing it legally and all that, above board. But they were all these kind of companies, including well, certainly I think the most important and the biggest company being Suno. Uh, yeah, they Suno.com. Yeah, they came to an agreement. But it's amazing that they studied all these different voices and instrument, of dozens of genres. It's amazing. Like you could do, if you wanted, you could have an Indian sound like Indian, mixed with a Native American flute with a sitar, and then you can have a hardcore electric guitar, and then violins come in, and then a solo oboe, and then you can come in with some cellos. It's amazing. Okay, let's see how we go.
They beckon.
But isn't that interesting the way it? Now I could try to fix that. It's just hilarious. Like fixing the AIs. Like I can actually, now this is using non-AI, although AI could probably, well, you could remix and it'll probably fix that. But you might, in the future, I think you're going to be able to talk to the AI the way I'm talking to you. Like, it's that's a little out of tune. In fact, they probably could program AI to go, oh, it's a little out of tune before I even say it. Like, this part here, oh yeah, he's singing out of tune. You want me to straighten that out? It'll be like that soon. It gets so weird. See here? Here's the way the AI did it. And then just thinking if I want to be perfect. Now, no, that didn't work.
They beckon.
That's high. I guess I did it too much. Let's see. Oh. That might do it. That's closer. That's better.
They beckon to me.
There's elements there, little tiny elements that are off, but it's not nearly as off as it was. And it put that in there because it thought that would be correct. And it possibly would make the song better because it adds a human. That's really something. It's scary. It is. Don't get me wrong. I know how weird this is. I grew up in an era where this was almost witchcraft, but it's certainly science fiction. Certainly. All right. I'm not having alcohol. It's Topo Chico. 0 calories.
To me.
I'm going to save the file. Welcome.
They beckon to me.
There's out of tune again.
To me.
Me.
To me. To me.
Isn't that funny? And the AI is pretty, as far as it's when it's not doing glitches, it's pretty close to perfect. Although sometimes instruments will be a little off, like for the most part, it's almost perfect. But at one point, it'll be they'll forget to put a half a beat, and then the rhythm goes off in one place. That's rare, but the AI is not perfect, which makes. Pardon me, I burped. The reason for these videos is mainly to prove, if I have to in the future, that I had the human touch, that I added my own creativity and work to these works that I want to maybe, as far as copyright and all that. Okay.
To me. To me. To me. To me.
Here we go.
To me. To me. to me,
Closer.
to me,
Me.
to me, 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 to me,
Now here.
to me, to me,
Yeah.
to me,
That might be too
to
much.
me,
Let's try that.
they beckon to me.
Closer.
In my mind, it's a beautiful day.
Wow.
In my mind,
That's perfect there. By the way, you can also take, like if I wanted to, instead of doing what I did, find a duplicate where they do it again, but it's right, and then copy and paste it in. But the trick is it has to be the right amount of time.
the Caribbean is gleaming.
Like let's say I wanted to use that one. So I go here, I'm not going to do it, but I go look down here and I go to 5.3. Let's say 3.0 just to make it. And if I have trouble, I zoom in. And then okay, 5,300. So
The Caribbean is gleaming.
let's say I really like that one. So I'm going to make a marker here. I'm just going to do this for, so 5,300.
Me and happy cry in the day. Tree and palm Caribbean is gleaming.
Let's say I didn't like that, and I wanted to. I wanted to reply. I didn't want to go trying to fix it. There was a real bad glitch there. So there's 5,300, right?
The Caribbean is gleaming.
Right. I'm going to paste it in. Watch. Now,
The Caribbean is gleaming.
but I like the other one, so I'm going to undo that. But I wanted to show you that didn't. Did you notice this didn't shift to the right or left? Here, I'll undo it, and you'll see this will stay very stable. There. Didn't move an ounce because I pasted it in exactly the same. Yeah, and I didn't like read that anywhere or hear it from anybody else. I just sort of, figured out. I mean, it's fairly self-explanatory, but I'm happy that I was able to. It helps, and in fact, come to think of it, I could find if there's a repeat of this.
In my mind,
And there's a glitch there, if you notice. Yeah, very small. Actually, it's nearly perfect. We fixed that real well, but I could have found another.
in my mind,
That wouldn't work. It has to be the same. But if there's another in my mind, I could have used that. All right, let's go back to where we were.
the Caribbean is gleaming.
Beautiful.
In my mind, I'm palm tree dreaming.
I want to make that a little loud. I have a feeling that might be a little low.
I'm palm tree dreaming.
I like that.
I'm palm tree dreaming. Palm.
By the way, this is the first time I'm saying it, and I didn't even say it to my friend, my musical mentor, who I'm trading notes with. He's not using this. He doesn't need to, but he's interested in AI and what I'm doing, and he's not telling me not to share things with him. Tried to keep it at a minimum because the guy's, he does humanly composed by his name, and I don't know how he feels about. I mean, he'd like to see me go back to using a synthesizer and playing the keyboard and so on. This is taking my music, by the way. I'm taking my original music and feeding it Like this is an original, and it's very different though. But I think it at least holds the same, key or whatever. But kind of hear it. It's new age stuff that I created as healing ambient music, and then Pandora took my stuff down. Now they're oh, that's right, I already did that. Yeah, now they're calling me. This content is no longer on Pandora, and I would look at all the different 5.9 million streams. I was doing 20,000 streams a day. And for some reason, it's still streaming some of the music somewhere. I don't know why. How? Because they took all the music down, supposedly. But they're keeping the profile up, and it's always doing some streams. But instead of 20,000 for each one of these, it's almost nothing. This is that 13 is an anomaly. But I only make about a quarter of a penny a stream, so this is basically nothing. That's so strange. So I made a penny this day, whereas before I was making like $50 a day. It was a totally different time. So I've taken some of that music and repurposed it with Suno, and then I write the lyrics for the ones with lyrics. But for the ones without lyrics, it's basically just instrumental stuff. So I'm prompting it. I'm going through and fixing things. I'm sometimes, just doing various things. Did it stop? Oh no, 3 minutes left. Okay, 3 minutes left. This will be a part one. We'll go into a part two.
Palm tree dreaming.
I'm gonna finish this.
I'm palm tree dreaming.
It's the last one. All right, so I saved all that. Now what I do, let's take down,
The sand and the sea.
that's an S. My ears don't hear S's very well, so that may be harsh for some people who can actually hear that.
The sea.
Yeah, that's better. Welcome. So anyway, now that I have all this done, for now, I then create a copy of this. This one, that's all right. We're going to 8, and we call this Palm Tree Dreaming. And what we do is I'm going to go, you know how this is called vocals? This is the second version, which I like better than the first version. So that's why I'm doing this. Now, I'm going to rename this one Marriage, all caps Marriage. And that tells me, just from, internally, nobody will know this except for you guys. But this is like instruments, vocals, and then this is Marriage. I save that. Now the vocals are safe. If I screw this up for some reason, or it gets corrupt or whatever, then I'll make sure that's correct, yes. So I have all the instruments here. This is not really the correct way to do this. The correct way to do this is doing this in a multi-track studio, but I'm using the SoundForge, which allows me to go in and, there's not many digital audio workstations that have this sort of, where you can forage the sound, and I really like that. So it's a real clunky way of doing it, but what I do is I do a meld. It's this would be it marries them together, and I can bring the instruments down if I wanted to, but what I've done is brought the vocals up, which is the main reason I split it into stems, because I want to have the vocals higher in the mix. Let's take a listen and see how it sounds. And it's actually almost out of time. This is the end of part 1. We'll go into part 2. Thanks for watching.